Hey guys, today we're checking out this brand new custom zombies map called Country der Toten in Black Ops 3 Custom Zombies. To my surprise, you actually start off the match with a cutscene. It's a short little cutscene of a car driving up to the location that we're at in this map. So I started off the match, I picked up a quick revive, and of course I'm running the Pegasus mod to rank up. And I actually learned that there was a shovel in the spawn room, so I picked that up and was able to start digging around the map. And it seemed there was only one dig spot here in the spawn room, at least. Also, guys, I have a bit of a sore throat, so I apologize if I sound a little off today. But I spent the first few rounds here in the spawn room. I noticed there was this portal here, and I couldn't enter this water area, so I was wondering what was up. But ended up opening the first door and making my way out into more of a countryside area. It's basically a straight path up here, and you can look on the sides left and right, and I did find a soul box that I began to slowly fill up. So I spent some time on the side of the path filling up the soul box on these early rounds. So then I opened my way up to the mystery box, and on my very first hit I got the MG81, which was awesome. So I then began looking around the map for how to turn on power, and I opened up into this mansion area sort of, and I found a fuse on the wall. And then I remembered over here by the mystery box there was this area that needed a fuse, so I put that fuse in there, and then I was able to activate the generator. I'm not exactly sure what this started or turned on. Maybe it was the first step of turning power on or something like that. But it did not turn on power, unfortunately, so I had to find another way for that. It wasn't until much later I actually learned about power. But I ended up going around, finding more parts for the shield, finding parts for what looked like to be the KT-4, as well as parts for the Apothecary Servant just laid out around the map. It's a nice little map. I was then able to melee a safe inside of the back room of the kind of estate here, and there were some people inside fully voice acted, which was kind of cool. I could let you listen to some of that right here.
Can you help us? We were minding our own business green down there, when suddenly we were ambushed by someone and trapped in air.
And they basically said that I needed to prove myself to them to earn their trust to be able to go on this quest to help them out, basically. So behind the estate area that you can open up to, there was this kind of little ritual area you could begin doing challenges at. So I did the first one just on these early rounds, and that was just to get melee kills, so I finished that one pretty easily. I actually also crafted myself the Apothecary Servant, so that was cool. I was able to get that. It kind of surprised me. I didn't even know I had all the parts. But that is an awesome weapon to have for sure. And by this point, I had, of course, learned that power was actually opened up. It was right next to that generator area. A little room opened up on the opposite side, and I was able to flip the power switch and turn it on. So, during all this, I was also going around and buying all my perks, of course. Then, once I was decently set up on perks and weaponry, I finished the rest of the challenges, which were to just get kills within a certain amount of time, of course, and then to get a certain amount of headshots in a certain amount of time as well. So I made sure to do these in the heat of a round or the start of a round, so that I always had enough zombies and was able to do it in a decent amount of time. So after completing all the challenges, I went and talked to the guys in the safe again, and then they spit out a device that they wanted me to charge up. But before I started that, I learned that there was this kind of water section on the top back area of the estate where I was actually able to access and remove the water to access it if I did all the Shangri-La pressure pads and pushed them all in. There's only 3 on the map, so it's pretty simple, and then you can open up Pack-a-Punch for maybe a minute or so before it closed off and you had to repeat the process to open it up. But I managed to get my Apothecary Servant and my MG81 packed, and they had a beautiful blue 115 camo on it. So then I actually learned I had to shoot the device that they spit out of the safe area, and it's just a summoning key, so I just shot it around the map to different areas until it landed in the spawn area and began to go into this machine, and I had to activate it to charge it up with electricity. Once it had full power, I could then shoot it back to the direction of which it came, and then it eventually stopped right in front of the estate area. Now I was stuck here for a while because it wouldn't move anymore when I would shoot it, and it didn't seem like any zombie souls were going into it when I was killing zombies near it. So it just kept going through a couple rounds and killing zombies in the vicinity of it, despite it not really doing anything. And I also went and actually crafted the KT-4 and pack-a-punch that as well, now that I had Mule Kick, so I had the KT-4 Apothecary and the MG. And as I progressed around and killed zombies in front of the orb, it eventually came down and locked me in the area. And that's when the safe people revealed that it was actually a ruse, and they were just using me to escape, and they were going to leave me trapped here with the zombies. So they escaped through their teleporter as I held out in the lockdown area, and eventually I was able to pick up the device, and then suddenly some meteors came crashing down around the map, and so I had to find a code hidden in each of these meteors. So some of them actually had nothing, but to actually break open some of these meteors, some of them you had to shield bash, others you had to shoot with the KT4 acid to dissolve it, and another type of meteor said that it had to have pressure to open it, and I could never really figure that one out, but I did manage to find one of the codes at least, and I was able to brute force the lock by spamming the button of the code in the safe room with the other two. That actually opened up the safe area where they were inside, and I was able to go inside there and pick up an item. It was some sort of valve. So I took this valve to the spawn area, where I was then able to use it to drain the water section and go into the water section and pick up some sort of axe inside of there. With this axe, I was able to head to the back side of the estate, and of course all this moving around is really helpful when you have teleporters to use, right? I should mention during this point that I thought it was a map feature, but it seems I actually glitched out the map using the Apothecon Servant, so I had the invisible zombie glitch where there was about 2 zombies, I think, that were invisible, so I could not kill them, they could not be killed, and they could not damage me, so it was useful for searching around for what I had to do next and all that. But I was able to push open into this new area, and I found a bunch of equipment in this area. One of it said a gear is missing, so it seems we just needed to get a gear, and then there was a radio to call a plane. So the plane answered the call and started coming in, but it kept getting teleported, trapped in a loop of teleporters in the air, waiting for me to shoot it down. Now there was this giant anti-air artillery thing that we could use to shoot it down, but it required gunpowder. So we searched around for quite a while, but I did notice this box that was glowing red, but I found no way to open it by mailing it or using explosives or anything like that. So I then learned you had to actually use a napalm zombie on it to actually explode it and get the gunpowder from inside. You could then use the gunpowder to shoot down the plane. The plane would get you that gear piece you could then use to craft some sort of teleporter or machine to go to the final area, which is just kind of a holdout style boss fight. And then you could then buy the ending after that. But unfortunately, since my game glitched out, no more zombies were spawning in, and I couldn't kill the current zombies at all, so I just used the Pegasus mod to call for an escape, so I could at least have some sort of ending to the map instead of it just being ruined by this glitch. Calling for the exfil with the Pegasus mod, though, does spawn in its own zombies, so there were some new zombies spawning in, but unfortunately still did not fix the glitch, but I held out for a while against the zombies and managed to zipline up to the chopper and escape the map. So it's unfortunate I had this little glitch, but overall it's a pretty cool map, and it will be linked in the description down below for anyone who wants to check it out for themselves. But until next time, I'll see you guys soon. Peace out.